Well, hello, good morning, and welcome to the Lockhart Radio Podcast. I am your host, Felicia Lockhart, and I want to say hello to each and every one of you. It's really, really good to see you. I hope that you can hear me. It's been a moment. And you know what? I really dislike it strongly when people do all of that. Can you hear me? Can you hear me now? It's like, why didn't you check all that out? But I really can't see. Normally, it'll tell me if you can hear me. So let me see. Yeah, you can hear? Oh no, you can't hear. Hold on. Child, here I go. I know how to do it. This. Now, yep, you can hear me just fine. All right, so yeah, you know, I've been really trying not to be involved with any of this. I've just, you guys see, I've not been hanging out at all. Obvious reasons. But I just want to say from the bromance situation that I've been hearing in earshots, and you guys will probably have more information than I do right now, because I've really just been trying to breathe and just enjoy life. You know what I mean? Lots of things have happened. You all know my dad passed, and my son was hospitalized. So we've gone through a lot of stuff. But when I got this particular message, I really honestly did not um, want to miss the opportunity to come and talk to you guys. I did not want to miss that opportunity because to me, when I see somebody say something like, "Hey, we just let's just be PG, okay? We just took a whole bunch of feathers and threw them on Bob the Builder, and now we're waiting to see his response, and he better not respond." I'm here to tell you, you're going to be wearing some feathers if I'm Bob the Builder. Because if you throw feathers, I'm going to go get some feathers, but I'm going to do it a little different. I'm going to pour some molasses on you first, then I'm going to throw the feathers, right? But I'm really amazed at some of the things that I've been seeing come up in the media. One story that I got, and I won't use the source here, but I will read it because the unfortunate piece is I know they don't really care for us to use this particular source. But I'm going to read it and I'm going to show you guys where it came from because you know what it's like. Your enemy will always tell. Your enemy always going to tell the truth on you. I'll show you where it comes from. It's from RT. Okay. I'm going to just say it like that under my breath like that. All right. So it says, despite the Israeli strikes, the United States president has urged Tehran to comply with Washington's demands over its nuclear program before it's too late. Oh my God, they better do what he's saying. They better listen to this guy. See this guy, that guy. They better do what well, he used to be Mr. Naranga. Now he's Blondie. That's going to be his new name. Blondie. It's going to be his new name. All right, so it says, let me go ahead and give it to you guys because I don't want you to see my facial expressions because I will be cracking some jokes, but nonetheless, here we go. The U.S. gave Iran chance after chance to make a deal over its nuclear program. This is what U.S. President Donald Trump has stated, suggesting that the Israeli airstrikes against the Islamic Republic are the result of its own issues. He called on Tehran to agree to Washington's terms before it's too late. So basically, we're going to jack you up and keep jacking you up until you comply with the way we've been jacking you up. And if you don't like how we've been jacking you up, we're just going to drag all of us, even though we said we're not going to get involved in it and we wasn't involved in it, we're going to drag everybody into it. But you know I'm the dot collector. And even that they want to try to pretend like we not involved, I got a video that you and I were a part of a few months ago. Months and months ago, could have been a year ago, where we were all together and I talked about how we dropped off a little something something for somebody else to use just in case they had to, put up their dukes. But in any case, let's continue. So it says the Israeli military conducted a series of airstrikes on numerous targets across Iran Friday the 13th. Okay, we're not going to trip on the dates, right? We're not going to trip on dates because dates are not important, right? They're not important. Friday the 13th, including military and nuclear sites. The Iranian authorities have confirmed that the attacks killed Major General Hossein Salami, the commander of Iran's elite Islamic Revolutionary Guard, and a Major General Mohammad Bagheri. Now, see, that's a different last name than the last name that I had earlier. The chief of staff of the Iranian forces is who that individual was, but several media outlets have claimed that several other high-ranking military commanders and nuclear scientists also perished. Now, there were two nuclear scientists, and I saw their names earlier. Okay, so now what they're saying is that the United States has been warning and that they are at their fifth meeting. This Sunday should be the sixth meeting. So I guess they think they all going to sort of traipse on in and have their meeting on Sunday, maybe, and that everything is going to be okay. I just want to ask everybody in the chat to let me know, do you think that, and I'm going to just come right out with it, how Christians feeling about all of this shoot 'em up stuff? It's just a question. It's just a question because I honestly, even though I've been sitting back in the cut being real quiet, not saying nothing, I want to understand, where is this adulation that we all once had when we weren't involved in any scuttlebutts? When this cat was in office last time, we had very limited things that we were involved in, and as you guys know, I was a little upset when I actually saw what he had done to Syria. And by he, I mean Mr. Naranga. What he had done to Syria a couple of times, sticking his finger and poking him in the eyeball and doing all kinds of stuff. I honestly don't believe that this place is being run by who we think is being run by, which is no big newsflash. We all knew that, right? But at the same time, can you be more blatant? We just sent them artillery not long ago. We did. We sent it to them. And we've been the ones that's doing all this stuff. So the funny part to me is when I read articles like this and it says that we didn't have anything to do with it. We didn't have nothing to do with it militarily. We didn't have it. We just standing by trying to let them know, man, come on now, man. You need to hurry on up and leave these people alone. Tell them that you ain't going to do nothing, that you're going to stop doing all. This is a bunch of crap. We don't care about anything else but one thing. And that is making some other country happy. I said it. It was me. I did it. I said it. The only thing that America cares about right now is making Israel happy. And listen, I'm not on either side of the fence with this, but I'm not dumb. I can see, and so can you. That's why I ask, what do Christians think about this right now? What do people who are believers think about this right now? Because this right here could be catastrophic. Yeah, unless it's a part of a plot to allow us to submit to something else that's down the pike. You know what I mean? This could be catastrophic. Do you not think that China and they buddy Russia not sitting back in the cut watching? And they possibly have to have enough sense to know that this is just trying to push them into doing something. The China as well as Russia has to know that what's going on right now is just to push Israel, or to push Iran into retaliating against Israel. I don't know. Well, your president, your boy, took to social media, to Truth Social, his platform that he owns. He wrote that he gave Iran chance after chance. I gave Iran chance after chance to make a deal on its nuclear program, telling the Iranian leadership in the strongest of words to just do it. Just comply. The United States head of state suggested that he had warned Tehran that failure to comply with Washington's demands would result in a massive Israeli attack, noting that its military is armed with a large number of U.S. made weapons. According to Trump, while Israel is prepared to carry out further, even more brutal attacks against Iran, well, of course they are. And I'm going to have to stop and put a pencil here. Yeah, they are. Because they've got the backing of the place that they've invested most of their time and their money and their sweat equity and everything else, and to include tampering with the Congress and everybody else and making them take the right hand of fellowship to do what they want them to do. Of course. This is that. This place is that place. Yeah. Yeah. This is the satellite branch. So whenever you're telling the people here that it's not us doing it, but we back them and we stand with them, and if they retaliate, then we're going to get involved. How do you jump on somebody, and then after you jump on somebody, threaten at somebody to not hit you back? We gonna go for broke. If you put your hands on me and I am forced to have to protect myself and my own personal interest, my family, you know what I mean? What kind of craziness is this we're talking? What are we really saying? We're going to jump on you and we're going to watch them jump on you. We're going to watch them bully you. Now, they annihilated the majority of the Middle East over there, annihilated them. They don't took, ain't no telling how many people are really gone. It's a shame. So they done got rid of all of them. Now they just walking around seeing what else they can do, because now they are the big rooster in the hen yard. And they just kicking up all kind of feed and dirt up under their feet. They're just kicking it all up. And we are going to be, I don't know. Could this be just a war or a rumor of wars? Which one is it? I don't know. All right. So according to Trump, while Israel prepared to carry out further, even more brutal attacks, this is what he says, against Iran, there is still a possibility to reverse the escalation. Now, we can stop if you do what we say. We're going to stop beating you up if you do what we say. Iran must make a deal before there is nothing left and save what was once known as the Iranian Empire, the United States president insisted. Since April, the United States and Iran have held several rounds of talks in Oman about Tehran's nuclear program, but no breakthrough has emerged. The next encounter was scheduled for Sunday, but following the Israeli strikes, the Islamic Republic has reportedly withdrawn. Well, I wonder why. I wonder why they would just withdraw. I wonder what would make them. I can't see. Can you put your finger on it? Washington has demanded all along that Tehran stop all uranium enrichment, something that Iranian Foreign Minister Abbas Araghchi described as completely detached from the reality of negotiations. Iran currently enriches uranium to 60% purity, far above the 3.67 cap under the now defunct 2015 nuclear deal, which was rendered null and void after President Trump unilaterally withdrew the United States from it during his first term. Okay, so that's that. All right, that's that. What else has it got to say here? Because like I tell you, your enemy is always going to give you a little bit better news than what you can get here. Same stuff, though. Same stuff. Looking at all of this, what else do we got here? What gets me is how this dude said, how Mr. Naranga, former Naranga, says that they were aware all along. They knew it all along. We knew they were going to do this all along. We knew it. We knew it all along. You know what, you guys? I just got to say it. This is a shit show. The whole entire thing is a shit show. We've got stuff between him and this Elon Musk character, which we all knew that the dude was leaving in May. We all knew that he was leaving in May. It was no secret. The very beginning of him even joining on said he was leaving in May. Now he's leaving in May, but now he's leaving pretending like they're having this bromance that's just broken up. Like none of us knew that this cat was already hanging out with the likes of the dude that was allegedly himself. He's still hanging around, probably in a bunker on the same island that we all knew about, Bikini Bottom Island. So we've got that. And we've got this terrible argument that they're having between each other. But it's not an argument at all. It's a distraction for what else is going on. And you got half of California losing its mind. But is it really losing its mind? Or do we all remember seeing those clips of individuals holding up a card saying, the United States hasn't issued any more money on my card, in broken English, of course. They haven't given me my money and I just want to know where it is. Here it is. This is a card that says United Nations and there's money. The United States is supposed to put some money in there. Where's the money? Where's the beef? So we're looking at everybody out in California right now. My son called me the other day talking about, Mama, I don't know what to do. There's like loud bomb noises outside. And I said, what are you talking about? They live in Compton, right off of Avalon. And he says that there was these loud bomb noises. He said, come to find out that they were actually doing flashbangs in Compton. Something that my child has not heard in Compton. We know those people are the people that I told everybody about 2 years ago when I said, I believe that they're waiting for a dog whistle. And when that dog whistle blows, each person that they've allowed over here is going to know exactly where to go and how to fall out. Whether or not they received any funds or not is of no consequence. Whether or not the people that we see right now that are doing the stuff that they were doing are the same people that were paid to be over here is of no consequence. First off, I don't think anybody with worth their salt or any good common sense is going to come from another country only to go and start to attack the people that can throw them in jail and throw them back into the other country. I don't think that they would actually do that, but they might. I mean, there might be a bunch of, out there. But we all knew that those are the individuals that were waiting for such a time as this because we called it. We sat right here together, you and me. And we all agreed that even though all those individuals were being allowed through the border, that they were coming here to do something specific, that they had a gig. Remember when all of the attacks happened on the police officers in New York, and what did we say? I said then, we all discussed it. I said, you know what to me this looks like? This looks like those people attacked those police officers because this is what they were brought here to do, and it was just a little premature. They weren't supposed to do it. But they had already been given carte blanche to do it, right? Yeah. They had already been given carte blanche to do it. And so that's why they were doing it. Because they already knew that eventually this was a job that they had. So all the stuff that I see out there in California right now is really creepy at best. I find it quite curious that they want us to believe all that we're seeing. And thank goodness I'm not watching it like I am. The only reason why I'm concerned is because my baby got to drive to and from work, in those areas. And some of the areas now they've got to go around and to different areas to get it. So we've got that. Now, we've not only got all of that's going on. Okay, we got the bromance, which I don't believe is over. I think that, first off, I'm going to say it. Hell, y'all hardly see me. So it ain't like, I'm getting a bazillion. I'm going to say what I think. Here's what I think. I think that Neuralink thing is up and running. A lot more than we know. A lot more than we know. How about you got a baby standing next to the seated president, literally and literally, telling you you're not the president. And his daddy's standing over there talking. And the little baby is sitting here talking to the seated president, telling him, you're not the president. See, something about children, they're painfully honest. And little Damien was sitting there. Little Damien was standing right beside the president. And he told him, You're not the president. You ever notice how kids always talk about the stuff their parents talk about in quiet spaces, and they're not supposed to talk about certain things? They don't have any filters. So children generally don't know not to say certain things. And he just stood there and looked at the camera and looked at him and said, "You're not the president." Yeah. Do you guys remember the weird pictures of the president always standing with Musk prior to him becoming the president? There was a photo of him sitting on a plane with him, and it looked like somebody had just taken a cardboard cutout and set him in the chair next to Trump. And his hand looked weird. And as he was sitting there, I kept saying to myself, something ain't right. That ain't that dude. Now, everybody knows everybody has a double or two. We've all heard about that. But what I'm saying is, how do we know if this third party, this dude, is attempting to erect, and by this dude, I mean Muskie? How do we know that that is not a part of his plan? Even though we know he cannot run for president, nobody says that he can't fund a third party. There's a whole lot going on here, a whole lot of flies in the buttermilk. I'm glad I've been gone, but guess what, baby? I'm back. Oh, I'm back. I'm literally back. I mean, I'm back. I'm not just hitting you up today. I'm back. And I'm not going to hold any punches. I'm not. I'm not going to fake the funk. I'm not going to not tell you the truth. I'm going to tell you exactly as I see it. I believe that this guy is in a lot deeper than we know, and that's the reason why I called his son Damien. And then, wait a minute, how do you relegate the president of the United States to being a nanny, walking out of the White House with this kid? He don't even walk around with his own son like this. You want me to believe that he's willy-nilly walking around with Elon Musk's kid, walking out of the White House? Did you guys see that clip? Yeah, I saw that. I monitored that. I was tracking that. So I do want to take a look at some of this stuff, how Musk now explodes. He's exploding. This was 7 days ago when he started telling the truth about the Epstein files and all that other stuff. When he started saying, y'all know his name and his face is all over the place. Yeah, we knew that. You were just a toddler in your parent. You were just a gleam in your parents' eyes when this cat was doing his thing. Oh, is that what you think? I don't know. I don't know. Like I say, and you know, Betty R., you know that I have been pulling way back. You know that. Everybody knows, but you know personally, Sandy knows personally, that I've just been sort of sitting in the cut because I couldn't take a lot of it. But we're going to talk about a lot of stuff. So let's go on ahead and look at this, and we're going to I don't know, break it down piece by piece. Okay, that's what we're going to do. We're going to break it down piece by piece.
Killer fashion tonight as a bitter war of words develops between Donald Trump and Elon Musk. During a press conference in the Oval Office, President Trump said he was surprised and disappointed at Mr. Musk's criticism of a key piece of his legislation. Elon Musk responded on the social media platform X, which he owns, with a series of increasingly disparaging remarks about his former boss, calling him ungrateful, saying that his tariffs will cause a recession, and alleging that he is named in the files.
Okay, so here's my question. She said the former boss. His former boss. This guy was hired as a contractor, right? He was a contractor. And so everyone wants us to believe, even though he was working for this now newly formed organization in the White House and all this other crap, the Doge thing or whatever it is, to me, he was still a contractor. So that wasn't his boss. He was a contractor. That's the first piece. There's a couple other things that I want to throw at you guys as we're just chit-chatting and talking while this chick is waiting for me to push the button. I also want to ask you guys about a couple of other things. What is it about Elon and, oh God, how do I put this? All right, let me ask you guys. What do you guys think about the whole thing that was going on with the Teslas? Because remember, y'all, we haven't talked. So, do you think that that was just a way for him to sort of slide out of something? What do you think about it? Yeah, we are. We are, Sarah, as a country. Yeah, we are. Especially if these cats decide that they do want their daddy's records and they're gonna go for broke. But let's ask this question. I'm trying to get all of this out here so we can just push on and go forward. Okay. All right. Hold on. What do we got here? Oz says, Ballotopedia says U.S. political parties, January 2025. There were at least 55 distinct ballot qualified political parties in the United States. We don't need Musk, just pick one. Absolutely. And you know what else? I think, Oz, what I also think is the fact that he wants to be that third party. And that, yeah, there are a lot of legalities as to why he wouldn't be able to be. But here's the truth. He can still do it because there are still ways that they can form a more perfect understanding of what it is that they got going on. Yeah, I think so. And I think that money talks and everything else walks. And he knows that. He knows that all it takes is a little bit of coinage. And the sad part is that prior to today, I wouldn't have said that because we also understand that there are laws and there are rules. But I'm going to tell you something. Everybody on both sides is breaking rules right now. And I don't know who that cat is that's in our office right now. But what I will tell you is something ain't right. Something is not right. Something ain't right here. I gotta do something right here. Tell you is something ain't right. All right, I had to take care of Oz. I don't know what happened, but I had to take care of Oz. So I got you taken care of, sister. All right, I had to take care of Oz. I don't know. There. All right, so now that's done. We're everywhere today because I'm everywhere and I'm getting back into, getting back acclimated to this. All right, so let's go ahead and finish listening to this crap. But I just really feel like this dude, what's up with his eye? Yeah, I'm all over the place. What's up with his eyeball? He had a knocked out eyeball the other day. What was up with that? What was up with the eyeball? Let's look.
Of the late convicted sex offender, Jeffrey Epstein. Watching it all is Sarah Smith.
Give it to Elon as a presentation from our country.
Thank you.
Thank you, Elon.
Thank
A
you.
golden key to the White House was Elon Musk's leaving present. Now, less than a week later, Donald Trump might want to think about changing the locks.
Elon and I had a great relationship. I don't know if we will anymore. I was surprised because
Today, the German Chancellor Friedrich Merz was the Oval Office guest star, but Elon Musk and his criticism of Mr. Trump's spending bill dominated the conversation, to the president's obvious irritation.
But I'm very disappointed because Elon knew the inner workings of this bill better than almost anybody sitting here, better than you people. He knew everything about it. He had no problem with it.
What is up with this dude's eyes? Doesn't his eyes remind you now of a serpent or a little snake or a frog? Doesn't he look like he got frog eyes now? Let me shut up. Let's go.
All of a sudden he had a problem.
Just minutes later.
Now, what's that? What's up with his right eye? Does anybody know why his right eye is black now? Is there anybody that can tell me why this dude has a black eye? I remember his black eye the other day when I saw this about a week or so ago, and I thought to myself, what has he now been indoctrinated into fully? Because, he came here being indoctrinated, but what is he really indoctrinated into now fully? Let's finish. I'm asking all these questions, and I'm sure that, thank you, baby. Thank you, Betty, for being discreet with it. I know that's right, sis. I know that's right. Being discreet with it. Okay. Thank you. It's something up, you guys. And listen, here's the sad piece. What happened to all of this stuff? Yep, Ahal, you got it. What happened to all of this stuff? And I'm going to just call it. In the beginning, when they started talking about how they were finding all of this money and how they were thinking, should we give it back to the American people? Well, hell yeah, because y'all the one took it from us. Sure, you should. I knew it wasn't going to happen. I knew that it was not going to happen. But so they were saying, oh, we're going to send the money to the people because it belongs to the people. Yeah, we're going to do this. We're going to do that. Oh, no, we're going to get out of debt with it. Oh, no, y'all been sending it right over there. Well, you've been sending stuff and you're going to keep sending stuff. You're going to keep sending money. So to me, I'm glad that I don't vote anymore. I'm so happy because who would feel comfortable voting for any of these individuals? How could you feel comfortable that your vote would honestly be used correctly? It's just an illusion fabricated to make us think that we do have a say when obviously you don't. Every single one of them have something that we can turn the mirror on. This one's looking at this one, but you're a liar. No, but you're the liar. Yeah, but you lied first. Yeah, but you lied worse. See how that happens? See what they did there? See what they do? You lied. No, you lied. No, but you lied worse. No, you lied worse than me. At least I didn't lie doing this. You lied doing that. Well, at least you didn't lie. You lied and said you was not sick, but now you got the prostate cancer. Well, you lied and said you wasn't going to ever put the U.S. in harm's way and start a war. Well, no, but you back and forth. And I'm going to tell you right now, I really do hope that this thing does not go in the direction that it could go. Because here's the thing, I really hope it doesn't go that way. But then by the same token, how would anybody let somebody come over there and take out all of their people, allegedly take them out, because we never know, and then not do something back? How does that happen? Anyway, let's finish listening to this tattleteller who was going to tattletale anyways. It's false. This bill was never shown to me even once, and was passed in the dead of night.
Elon Musk replied on X saying, false, this bill was never shown to me even once and was passed in the dead of night, so fast almost no one in Congress could even read it.
Where is he? Come on up here, Elon.
Mr. Musk obviously adored being in the spotlight as he campaigned alongside Donald Trump. Today, he's claiming that without him and the more than $250 million he donated, the president would have lost the election. They were once seen together everywhere. Now their row is being conducted in plain sight on social media. Mr. Trump on Truth Social upped the ante with, Elon was wearing thin. I asked him to leave. I took away his EV mandate that forced everyone to buy electric cars that nobody else wanted, that he knew for months I was going to do, and he just went crazy.
I doubt that strongly. I doubt that strongly. I doubt it strongly because, first of all, everybody knows that those EVs have been sitting on the car lots, as well as all of the distribution centers from coming off on the ports and all this other stuff. Everybody knows that those vehicles have not been selling. They had to create a narrative to make us understand and believe why they're no longer in this marriage bed together. They still are. All of them are. And if you think for just one quick second that this guy and only a few other celebrities went to go hang out in that other dude's place, that's a bunch of mess. You see, Hollywood as a whole, this is all Hollywood. It's all worship. All of it is magi. All of it is wizardry. Every inch of it is all got something to do with this, mystical stuff that's going on, all in the background, making you think you're seeing what you see, making you think that there's smoke when there is none. When there is no smoke, then they pop up some smoke. When there is smoke, then they remove the smoke, but the smoke is still there. All of these things are being done so that it can mess with you here and get you nice and exhausted. And then you, like myself, have to take off a few months and just get the heck away from all of it, because you just don't want to know the lies that they're telling and pushing. So the truth about it is that, homeboy, you probably was there too. Or at least you hung out with Diddy. And if you didn't hang out with Diddy, you hung out with somebody. And if you're so paranoid that you couldn't hang out with nobody, well, then you were in the catacombs hanging out with maybe, I don't know, the other cat that's in New York. These individuals are not going to do any of the things that we thought that they were going to do. As a matter of fact, they're going to continue to make things nice and confusing. Where is the clean water? Hey, RFK, why are we still getting big, gigantic 17 million egg recalls? Where's the clean beef? Why do we just have a brand new recall on ground beef? Because it's all meant to make you think that they're going to do something, and they're not. They're not. I don't know whether they get their memory wiped like the men in black when they pull out that light when they walk through the door. I don't know. I don't know. I found it very curious. My crazy behind, I did not know that RFK was married to the chick that was on Curb Your Enthusiasm with Larry David. I did not know that the former wife of Larry David on that show was his wife. Until I saw them saying that there was alleged rumors that his wife wanted a divorce. Let's finish before I get us in trouble.
Musk called that an obvious lie and then really escalated the abuse, suggesting Donald Trump has withheld files related to Jeffrey Epstein, who was arrested on charges of sex trafficking and died by suicide in jail, because he's named in them. Mr. Musk tweeted, "Time to drop the really big bomb. Donald Trump is in the Epstein files. That's the real reason they've not been made public. Have a nice day, DJT." Mr. Musk and his chainsaw were brought into government to aggressively cut government spending. A pointless exercise, he thinks, if President Trump will blow all the savings on tax cuts in his spending bill.
You know, I was like disappointed to see the massive spending bill, frankly, which increases the budget deficit, not just decrease it, and undermines the work that the Doge team is doing.
Which is that one?
Donald Trump is now suggesting the easiest way to save money would be to terminate Elon Musk's billion.
Did you see that little boy just running around? That child just runs around. He just goes everywhere he wants to go. He does. And the funniest, how did Elon and Trump get the same height? So many questions. Let me finish.
Billions of dollars in government contracts and subsidies. It was probably inevitable this bromance would turn sour, but no one expected it to go this bad, this fast.
We'll be speaking to Sarah in a moment, but first, our business editor, Simon Jackie.
I expected it to go that bad, that fast, because the one thing about Trump is that he has a very short attention span and he loves shiny things. As soon as one shiny thing is done, he'll jump over and look at another one. He's like a ferret. Oh, look at this. It's shiny. It's big. It's really going to be huge. It's going to be huge. But all of this stuff is scripted and planned. The problem is, how much time do we have left to get our crap in order? How much? How much? How much time? How much time?
Is here at Simon. Elon Musk, known as the world's richest man, is he still?
He still is, but blimey, this has been an expensive foray into politics. I reckon Tesla shares are down 14% today, mainly on that comment about losing subsidies and contracts. That's the real killer here. It's not about the personalities, it's about the money. So I reckon Tesla shares have lost $140 billion worth today. He owns about a seventh of that, so you're about 20 billion down just on the day. That would be enough to put him in the top 10 of richest people in the UK on his losses just today. I reckon since the high point, the bromance, the height of the bromance, Tesla shares are down some 40%. So that's probably cost him about 70 billion. And don't forget, big losses also potentially on SpaceX. Now, SpaceX shares aren't publicly traded, but the US has largely outsourced a lot of their satellite program to Elon Musk. That's worth hundreds of billions as well, 350 billion. He owns 42% of that. If that was a publicly traded stock, I think it would be down even more than Tesla.
But don't you guys think that even that, knowing that he had that much, he stood to gain or lose in this case, that would have disqualified him as even being a contractor? I mean, to me, there are certain things that are just screaming bells. Bells just screaming. Bells are just screaming when I think about it. You know what I mean? I do want to pan over a little bit, and I want to look at the president's conversation dealing with the other made-up story on Los Angeles. So let's finish this up. But don't you think that would have been a conflict of interest from Jump Street?
So by my reckoning, since the height of their romance, he's lost over $100 billion. There are only 14 people in the history of the world who've ever made that much money. So as I say, one of the most expensive forays into politics of all time.
Huge figures there. Simon, thank you very much. Let's go back to Sarah Smith in Washington. And Sarah, this is all spectacular theatre.
But isn't it All politics, even religion is politics. If you look at the Flavians and their input in the quote unquote New Testament, it's all politics. I mean, control is a political game. Anyway, let me shut up. Let me go ahead and give you another screen share. I really don't want to hear what she has to say. I really don't care. I don't give two rips, but I do want to listen to this. I haven't seen it. I just want to see what's going on. Looks like something just happened a little bit ago. Maybe what? Oh, cool. This is, let me see. I want to see the newest one. That was a couple of hours ago. I don't want to see this one. I don't want to see it. What is this one? What is this?
Continuing coverage.
Okay, this is an hour. Let's just peer in, shall we?
To those protests happening in Southern California and across the USA. It's been over a week since the protests in LA broke out, many remaining peaceful despite some images and videos circulating online suggesting otherwise. And this morning, a new court ruling on whether or not the president broke the law by deploying the National Guard in response to those protests. With the very latest details, here's ABC's Perry Russell.
This morning, the legal back and forth over President Trump's use of the National Guard to enforce immigration raids is escalating. A federal judge last night ordering Trump to return control of the National Guard to California's governor, ruling the deployment to Los Angeles was illegal and violated the 10th Amendment.
We both push back against these authoritarian tendencies of a president that has pushed the boundaries, pushed the limit, but no longer can push this state around.
Man, shut up. It's only 4 families that run that state. I grew up in that state. There's only 4 groups that run that place. You can take the whole state, cut it into 4, and I guarantee you that the reason why you feel each region having a different feeling to it is because of the spirit that's ennobled on the individual's family or group that runs that area. Janet just said something really, really, really true. Hey, rising, Frank. Look right here. This is what she says. I agree with her 110%. Oh, I agree. Oh, yeah. I agree. I do. I agree with that. I agree with that. I agree with that. And I agree with that. I agree with that. I do. Yeah. So let's just go ahead and finish. And all of this stuff is theater. And my son who's in the chat right now, he lives out there. So he knows it's theater. Here we go.
The judge's ruling was set to take effect today, but overnight, an appeals court putting that order on hold and scheduling a hearing on the issue for next Tuesday. 2 of the 3 judges on the appellate court were nominated by Trump. The legal challenge, whether the deployment was justified under Title 10, which allows the president to take control of the National Guard to suppress rebellion or enforce federal law. Last night, an unlawful assembly declared once again in downtown LA. Protesters gathering near the federal building for a 7th day, demonstrating against the Trump administration's immigration raids and military deployments in the city. Meanwhile, this dramatic scene in Los Angeles, California Senator Alex Padilla forcibly removed during a news conference. The clash erupting moments after Homeland Security Secretary Kristi Noem vowed to, quote, liberate the city from what she called socialist leadership. As Padilla tried to question Noem, a Secret Service agent grabbed him by the jacket and dragged him out. A scuffle with officers ending with the senator on his knees, surrounded and briefly in handcuffs.
If this is how this administration responds to a senator with a question, if this is how the Department of Homeland Security responds to a senator with a question, you can only imagine what they're doing to farm workers, to cooks, to day laborers.
The Department of Homeland Security defending the agents, saying they believe Padilla, who did not immediately identify himself, posed a threat. He did identify himself seconds later.
I'm Senator Alex Padilla. I have questions for the secretary.
Perry Russell, ABC News, Washington.
We do know that Secretary Noem did meet with Senator Padilla after they had about a 15-minute face-to-face.
And Secret Service thought Senator Padilla was an attacker. Noem said this about the incident.
That wasn't appropriate. That if you wanted to have a civil discussion, especially as a leader, a public official, that you would reach out and try to have a conversation.
Look here, you're not going to gaslight me. You guys can gaslight him or, this whole damn thing is nothing but a show. he was planning to do what he did. Everybody, listen, I am being that weird. Yes, I am. I am being that weird. I am saying that every time you see one of these people coming, I'm doing this and I need to do the same thing it was with James Brown. I mean, Maxine Waters the other day when she got upset that they wouldn't let her in. Was she allowed to go into a public building? Yes. Was she allowed to go do a welfare check on that cat? Yes, she was. Were they supposed to prevent her from getting in? No, they weren't. It's a federal building. It was a detention center. Yeah, she was allowed, but they want you to get upset about it and you to defend them. Who's defending all the people in Maxine Waters district that have raggedy roads and no place to stay? Don't gaslight me and tell me, well, yeah, he should have handled himself. No, if you're wrong, you're wrong. But see, it's not that. It's that you guys want us to continue to be divided. You want us to continue to choose one side over the other side when wrong is wrong. See, that's what's going to make a change. If everybody starts seeing crap that's wrong and start calling wrong wrong, you won't have a problem. You won't have a problem. Wrong is wrong. See how that works? It doesn't matter who does it. If it's wrong, it's wrong. But that's not what any of this is going on. None of these things are being used for you to use your thoughts effectively. It's all being done so that way what you do is you start to take sides. And when you start to take sides, now they got you because they don't care what side. If I got a 25-cent piece, I got a 25-cent piece. Whether I show you the face or whether I show you the tails of my 25-cent piece, I still got a quarter, baby. I still got a quarter, baby. It don't matter what side of the coin I show you. It's still a quarter. There's still a quarter. That's why I was looking at this other stuff that was going on. It's just a play. It's absolutely a play. I was looking at some of the other things not long ago. And that was this whole thing about the little boys out there in Texas. I sat back quietly. I didn't bring y'all nothing. I didn't say a word about it. They wouldn't use my mouth to do it. But what I would have said had I been a party to that is this is nothing but a ploy. Because you're not hearing of the other people who were at the location who said, hey, and they got shut up pretty quickly. Hey, I was there. I was actually in that tent. And all I remember was the opposite of what the media is saying. Because they need to get you angry. They need to divide you. You have to be divided. You can't stand with me or Frank or anybody else. Y'all can't. We can't stand together. We've got to be divided. And we must pick a side. Yeah, we've got to. There are no sides if something is wrong and you're creating problems where there were none. The one thing that I will tell you is that if you do decide that you don't want to get yourself attached to that stuff, you begin to calm down inside and you begin to have a little bit more relaxation inside of you. But as long as you are amped up, that energy feeds the machine.
From Senator Padilla's removal was swift and divided as video of his arrest continues to circulate. Reaction is pouring in from across the political landscape. That's why this morning we are hearing from someone who used to work directly for the senator who says this is bigger than politics. ABC 10's Garjpal Sangha has the story.
On your back. The reaction to the takedown of California's U.S. Senator Alex Padilla is echoing far beyond the moment caught on tape.
I don't think I've seen something like this where federal agents are taking down a U.S. senator in a federal building for trying to ask a question.
Robbie Abalon used to work for the senator when he was the state's Secretary of State. He calls the video shocking.
I think that is kind of a symbol of where we are at the moment. It takes a lot for Senator Padilla to do something that's like this. So it meant that this is something that's extremely passionate, something that's very important to him.
Sacramento area Democratic Congressman Ami Berra says this moment should worry every American.
Now, this is a sitting United States senator. If they can act with impunity and handcuff a sitting United States senator, none of us is safe.
Berra warns what happened could chip away at the foundation of democracy.
This isn't about Democrats and Republicans. This is about our standing up for one of our colleagues, because if we don't, then our democracy starts to die.
But others are calling out Padilla.
No one is above the law.
A sitting member of Congress.
Okay, so this is really what it's about. They're laying it out. They're letting you know what's about to start to happen here in the United States. They're starting to let you know that you are not going to be able to have your freedom of speech, that you're not going to be able to walk into any building that is having a public forum and say anything, that you are going, that if they did it to him, look what they're doing to you. So you got both sides having an opinion about it. But the true message is you are not going to have a voice, but we got to soften you up to that, right? We got to soften you up to the fact that you ain't going to be able to say what you want to say. Yeah, that's what this is about. That's the reason why they're allowing laws to be broken and things to be broken on such a high degree, on such a high level. If it's not on high level, then you're going to think that you still have the same exact laws that you had 10, 20, 30, 40 years ago. Do you see what I'm saying? They need for you to see it this way. They need, if they did it to him, look what they're going to, if they put Trump in jail, then they can put you in jail. Fear tactics to let the little guy know that, hey, it happened to them, so shut up and take it. Don't you go get no lawyer. Don't you go get no lawyer. It happened to him. They took him down. And didn't they take him down gently? Didn't they just take him down gently? Meanwhile, you got shows that are showing you all over the place real live body cameras, real live footage. I'm not even buying into the black and white piece of it because I know that if there's any divisiveness, it's not from an orderly being. Any divisiveness is not from any being with order, period. So I don't even go into that. I don't really care because the truth of the matter is it's to subdue all of the little guys. And if you're white, you're purple, you're black, you're green, you're orange, you may have a little leeway in different settings if you're black, because there are some people who don't want to challenge that. You may have some leeway if you're white, because there are some who may not want to challenge that. But the truth of the matter is that once all the dust is settled and everything is in the appropriate box that they needed to be in, no matter if you're black or white, you're still going to be the little guy and you're still going to get a pile of crap on you. Doesn't matter. That's the reason why I choose not to get involved with it's the black or the white. And that's the reason why I keep showing the juxtaposition on the Lockhart perspective when you're looking at, the black women and how we're acting, because I need us to stop. Right? So even if there's negative narratives that are out there, you'll hear me talk about us because I need us to know, hey, don't fall into that. Don't become that. This is what the media is showing you about who you are. So don't become this, because as a woman, all right, of Native descent, I can say this. I can do this. That's the reason why I'm always saying that it's each individual to fix their own crap. Each individual fix their own crap. Because if each individual begins to become accountable for their own crap and starts one at a time, hey, even a smile becomes contagious, baby. Even a smile is contagious, baby. You can go drive through, get yourself a cup of coffee and smile, and that person will feel pretty good because you smiled at them. Next thing you know, the natural thing is they're going to smile at somebody and somebody else going to smile. And if it stops, the chain stops, well, then it's on that one person. But all you got to do is pick up the grin and keep it pushing. But all of this stuff is made. Now watch, look at how these people who normally would not give a flip and rip are going to say what they're going to say. Most of them are reading comments. So let's go back a little bit. Marjorie Taylor Greene. Let's go to her. Let's start there.
A sitting member of Congress should not act like that. They're supposed to lead by example, and that is not a good example. We have to turn the temperature down in this country and not escalate it.
And Republican Congressman Kevin Kiley blames the state's sanctuary policies for aiding the disorder in Los Angeles.
Blocking off roadways, lighting cars on fire, lighting Waymos on fire, all of these horrifying images that we've seen. And what I find completely unacceptable is that this was all aided and abetted and encouraged by elected officials.
A high-profile dispute where politics, power, and principles collide.
This is a precedent.
Here's my question. Since they did not know that he was who he was while they were playing patty cake with him, they got to be some sorry tail officers, because I've seen cats on cops take dudes down faster, more aggressive, and more harmful than that. Do you understand what I'm saying? If this was real and they did not know who this dude was, then why, oh, why didn't they take homeboy down to the ground all the way to Chinatown? Why didn't they? There was no pound town, none. Think about that. That was not real, especially in California. Especially in California. If he was supposed to be a threat with the climate that we're talking, then why, oh why, if they did not know who he was, didn't they take him down to Chinatown? The question. Let's take a look at it again. Let's watch it again. Let's watch it. Okay, now let's watch from this cat.
Elected officials.
A high-profile dispute where politics, power, and principles collide.
This is a precedent I do not want to see repeated.
That was Garsh Palsanga reporting, and Speaker Johnson had mentioned that Senator Padilla should be censured. No word if the U.S. Senate will actually go that route.
A federal judge has issued a temporary restraining order requiring President Donald Trump to return control of the National Guard to California. The judge ruled
so we don't want the National Guards. We don't want any of those individuals. We don't want any of that. We don't need any of that. None of it at all. Just none of it at all, right? We don't want any of these people involved. We don't want any of that, right? We don't want them there. What is going on is in every situation, I guarantee you there's like a small percentage of the news that we're seeing right now today that is actual tangible stuff. The real stuff is getting, swept up under the rug. I'm gonna do some small pieces because I really want to ask some questions. So I'm gonna start here with you guys, and then once I start here with you guys, we'll put the video, and then I want you guys to talk about it in the chat because I'm gonna talk about this. I'm gonna make one about this whole Muskie thing, him and Muskie fighting, and I want you guys to let me know what you think about that. Maybe it'll be a minute, like a little short. I've been throwing little shorts out there, so maybe it'll be a minute or 2 minutes, right? Maybe that. But this right here, I really honestly want to ask you guys, what do you think? Now, you and I both know that the National Guards are moved by the governor. Am I wrong? Sarah, is your husband here? Is Sandy? It looks staged to you. Hey, Hal, any of you guys, isn't it the governor who's supposed to call in the National Guards? Or is it the president? Because I could be wrong. That's why I'm asking an honest question. Who is it, you guys? Tell me in the chat. Tell me in the chat. I need you guys to let me know. Somebody look it up for me. Okay? Because I want to know. I know that he's over the whole entire, military. So let's just use deduction. Okay? Let's see. Oh, so he can, without the governor's permission, in certain limited circumstances. Yeah, in certain limited circumstances, it says. Yes, the president can call up the National Guard of a state without permission in certain limited circumstances, primarily when dealing with situations of rebellion or when federal law enforcement is unable to be executed. Let's see what this says. Okay, domestic deployment under the law has its limits and for good reason. The National Guard plays a crucial role in the United States, both in its capacity as a reserve component of the armed forces and as a versatile asset that state governors can call in times of civil unrest, disaster, a natural disaster, and even when they had that, Corona thing. So it's Section 502F of the Title 32 of the U.S. Code as a longstanding authority that facilitates a range of important domestic National Guard missions. In the summer of 2020, however, the Trump administration made an unprecedented use of this law to bring unfederalized out-of-state guard troops into Washington, D.C. to respond to protests following the murder of George Floyd. Okay, so here's what I think is going on when I look at that. Then what does that tell me? That tells me that they are doing a lot of things to shake up the norm. And when you're shaking up the norm, it sets precedence that, yes, you may not be able to do it all the time, but because he did it once, he can do it again. And then the next guy can do it again. And then the next guy can do it again. We still have not addressed all the elephants that are in the room. Is how did the last president use a robot pen to do his thing? And are all those things binding? And if they're not binding, why aren't we focused on that? Why aren't we focused? Do y'all see what I'm saying? These people are amazing at best. That's it, at best. Secretary, different rules. Okay, California fiasco made Newsom look like a new Democrat. You know what? And here's the thing. I think that they're going to try to drag that cat out to become their next candidate to run this place. Who was it? I'm not sure if it was Steve or one of you guys that told me to watch this movie, and I did. Was it called The Ridiculousness or the ludicrousness or the something? It was about, and I watched it, but I can't remember the name of it. It was just showing how this dystopian world was and how this guy had gone in and hey, Zeb, the guy had gone in and he was with, I keep talking about this movie, Maya Rudolph, Minnie Riperton's daughter. I think it was Steve. Somebody told me to watch that movie and I did. And I said, oh my goodness, these people, this is how we're going to end up. It's a big joke. That's it. That's it. Idiocracy. Idiocracy. I think it was your husband. Isn't your husband? I think it was. Does your husband come on here as well? Sarah. Idiocracy. That's the movie. That's the movie. You guys watch that movie. Watch that movie. I'm here to tell you, watch it. Because even though it's far-fetched, it tells you exactly how the education system affected the kids going forward. You know, you're looking from a future perspective because it was some time lapse or something. They had gone into this thing and then they ended up the capsule ended up getting lost or broken into later or something. And you got people sitting there. It makes you think about the remote workers or the kids who play those games all day. They've got a chair that the poop goes into in this big, lounging chair where they can suck soda and they just eat in the chair. Everything is done in the chair. And the work that they do, it's just amazing. But that is exactly where we are headed because there's not going to be anything left. If you're looking at the generation of people that they're trying to, under their tutelage now in the American school system, you can only see that idiocracy is exactly where this place is headed. I hate to think it, but between that and between, his birthday is the 14th. That, believe it or not, is my dad's birthday. My dad, who just passed, my stepfather. My birth father's birthday is next month, but nonetheless, I digress. But to be candid with you guys, this is exactly what I think is going to happen here. This is that. That movie it was so ironic in the beginning. Okay. Your assignments is now truth, Father Yahweh has you in place. Hallelujah. I love you, sweetheart. You see? So the deal is, this is what I think. I think that all of the individuals who are under the tutelage of the United States school system, which they keep trying to tweak right now, is exactly what it's going to be. Here, look at this. In certain school systems right now, they have this thing where they all have these metal detectors. And I think that they've just done enough advertisement of the stuff that they want to get everybody conditioned to believe that, yes, your children should walk into a metal detector when they go to school. Yes, because it's what's best for them. It's so dangerous. You got to want the best for them. What are you doing? They got to walk through this thing. Well, I was standing I went to get one of my grandchildren from their school one day. And my daughter was in the car and she had me go in and get the child out. Actually, it was the day that I told her that she needed to take her kid out of the school. And as I stood there and I waited at the gate at the door and she parked the car and I'm just standing here and I'm observing how they're dealing with this one little girl that walked through the metal detector and one little boy. One little boy had on a shirt. And I didn't see anything wrong with what his mother sent him to school in. He had on a nice little Ralph Lauren shirt. And he had on his little trousers. He had a belt on and his tennis shoes, and he had his backpack, and he was walking on in. Hey, Mr. Leslie, he was walking on in, and he was having a, he seemed to be jovial while he was walking in. And I monitored and I watched the whole thing, because to me, I was amazed that I'm standing here looking at a bazillion dollar, you don't even have this at the grocery store, at a bazillion dollar metal detector as these kids are walking through it. Well, the kids are walking through it, and a black woman got the little boy. It's a little black boy, and she says to him, "Hey, come here right now. Back up, come back here. Did not tell you," she says to the little boy. She said something to the little girl earlier. I'm going to tell you what she said to her. "Did not tell you not to wear that shirt again. You get over there and you stand over there. And don't you come back until I tell you when to come back over here." Yeah, I told him not to wear that shirt before last week. He wore that same shirt, and whoopty wham. Again, I'm sitting here miffed, because I just cannot believe that she's talking to somebody's child about a shirt that looks absolutely okay to me. He had a little Ralph Lauren symbol there. Do you know that it's because they consider Ralph Lauren gang-related clothing? I'll hold. This little boy's mama probably went over to Ross Dress for Less and found him a couple of shirts and decided, okay, good, let me get him this shirt, let me get him some pants, just so the baby could get to school. And this lady, allegedly or apparently, has been harassing the child for the past 2 weeks. Gosh, they're doing the yards next door. Well, I guess we'll have to weather that storm. That's the first thing. And then the second thing that blew me, it really did, it blew me, was the fact that I know that's not my lawn guy. He was here yesterday. But anyway, the second thing that got me was the fact that the same woman had accosted a little girl. And the little girl had her backpack on, and she obviously had some female items in there that she didn't want anybody to see. The girl had to open up her backpack, and it was a man standing there, and he was both looking in with the woman, and the little girl was sort of trying not to let him see, but let the woman see. You can let him see. Just let him look and see what's in there. And the little girl said, "But I got some personal products in there." And the woman looks at me, and I'm standing there again with my arms folded. "Okay," she says, "I'll take a look at it for you." These are the things that they're allowing our children to be accustomed to in the schools. They're allowing them to get accustomed to illegal search and seizure. Hold on, y'all. I'm closing this. Illegal search and seizure and the whole nine. Hold on a second, you guys. Got to move the chair back, baby. Got to move it. All right. That's the first one. We got one more to go, baby. I don't even see the house that's getting their yard cut. I see the one that needs to get it cut across yonder, but I don't even know where this noise is coming from. Who knows? Like I said, I know it's not my guy. He was just here. All right, let's see. Where am I? I'm here. Am I here? Yeah, I'm there. All right. So again, they are now trying to get your children to be used to having their rights violated by allowing people to just, pat you down like they were patting some of the kids down coming into the school. And then they have this thing where they're telling the children at the school terms like, you're giving suspicion, you're giving suspicious behavior. So now the counselors and the principals and vice principals can call your child to school, call your child down to the office and let them know, well, we're going to pat you down. Is there anything in your backpack? Because you're having suspicious behavior. They told my daughter that one of the boys, I said, if you don't get your kids out that damn school, I know something. I'll know something. So we went and got them out of there. We got about 15, 16 grandkids. So yeah, we got them out of that one. But yeah, the principal was telling the little boy, it looks like you're giving people suspicious behavior because you don't make eye contact. Half the kids that's had an injection or inoculation aren't giving eye contact, and you are not either, as a matter of fact. I told the guy, look at me. Hey, I'm over here. You're talking to me. Don't tell him that again. You cannot violate his rights just because you are on this campus. You cannot. You will not. That's not going to happen. That's not how any of this works, right? That movie, Idiocracy, is exactly what's up. Yeah. Yeah. It's exactly what's up. That's exactly what's up. That's exactly how all of this works. There you go. All right, you guys. We're going to pull out of here. We've been on here about an hour. And the reason why is because I don't want to wear y'all out with a long, long live. But what I will tell you is these types of things that you are seeing is now, this is what I want to drive home, this is what I want to leave you with. Yeah, we saw what happened over there with Israel and with Iran. We see. We also know that it's crazy to think that you're going to, attack somebody and then tell them to not do anything back, because if you do, then we're going to get you. How crazy is that? Right? Right? Yeah. So you got that. Hey, Tonette. So you've got that issue. And then the second issue, did Tonette leave? I see she said, hey. Oh, she said she had to go. Okay. But then the next thing is, I want you guys to think about this. Let's talk about this. California situation. Do you guys remember or not where we talked about the fact that they were going to be waiting for a dog whistle of sorts, and that all of these individuals that they allowed over the border were coming for a specific reason? Okay. Yes. We're coming for a specific reason. And that at one point they were going to blow the dog whistle and everybody that had an assignment was going to go get their place in order. Do you guys remember that? All right. Next thing we're going to talk about down in the chat. And then again, some subsequent videos that we're going to just upload 2 or 3 minutes. We're going to also look at, oh yeah, the whole Muskie situation. We already know that Muskie was supposed to leave in May. We already remember that when he first said that he was going to be coming on board, he was only going to be there for a few months. Right? I want to talk about Palantir, you guys. I want you guys to start throwing me your ideas and your stories again. Those of you who've been able to send emails, send them, because we got to talk about some of this stuff. We just got to. I mean, now that we're back in full force, we cannot not do it. And we got to talk about some of the Diddy stuff too. Why? Because some of this Diddy stuff, Diddy did it. Some of this stuff, if you juxtapose the stories, the guy who was with, Abercrombie and Fitch, I believe it was, and I want to say allegedly because I'm not sure if that's the cat, but there was a cat that was with a big clothing company, and he was, he's standing trial, or they just said that he was not fit to stand trial. I'm trying to see, is that the same company? Is that the same? Was it Abercrombie and Fitch's CEO was in some trouble? And then we also have the movie guy, the guy who was doing the movies, who's equivalent to, if not worse than, all in the same boat together, because I don't believe that any of them are worse than anybody once you violate somebody. The guy, what was it? Okay, Sandy, thank you, baby girl. All right, so Sandy, also the other thing that I want to talk about is the island guy, the bikini bottom guy, but the actor, not an actor, he's a producer. Epstein's buddy, he's another guy who was in the theater and the movies and all this other stuff, and he's now going on trial. But all of this stuff is hiding up under the Diddy stuff. You're looking at the Diddy stuff, but there's so much other stuff that's rumbling. And I do believe that every time you see some of these things, and it just could be me, that it's just showing us that they are about to pay some dues somewhere. That's what it looks like to me. That's what it looks like to me. I think that it's just, somebody paying some dues. That's it. I got to pay dues, so they're going to go ahead and humiliate me this year. Oh, you do? Yeah, man, I'm going to be going up to the next level. You are? Oh, well, congratulations, homie. We'll just all meet up together. We'll go out here to a United States forest of any kind. Oh, we'll try one in California. We'll go to the forest there, and we'll all have a party about it and have a toast. That's what I think. Yeah. So we're going to talk about that. I want to talk about a lot of this stuff, you guys. You guys have the email address, and it is Felicia@FeliciaLockhart.com, Felicia@FeliciaLockhart.com, or info@FeliciaLockhart.com. Info@FeliciaLockhart.com will get you to be able to send me a link or discuss something with me. If you'd like to do that, because Sandy is good for sending me news. Rachel is good for sending news. Oz is good. How all of you guys are good at sending some news. So y'all send some news, send some stuff. If you send me one, I'm gonna match it and get me another article and do it. But the one that I really like is RT. They don't let me use it because every time I put it in there, they will flag it. So I can't use their links for RT. Yeah, I can't. But I am going to be going on to the Lockhart Perspective, because what I want to do is I want to talk about some of these scams. You guys are out here being scammed. Older women and older men. We're going to be talking about that on the Lockhart Perspective, where people are going into your inbox and you think it's people from your old high school. I mean, these are real things. You got people are really doing this. Or you think it's somebody that went to school with you. We're going to be talking about that, because on Lockhart Perspective, you guys, we're going to be dealing with, of course, the stuff that we normally do. And that's the, feel good stories, the stories that sort of make you go, like the little entertainment and the goofball stuff. Anyway, I love all of y'all. And I'm so glad to be back. And I'm so glad that we had this time together. 9:00 tomorrow morning, we're going to hang out again. If you guys want to, we can hang out again tomorrow. We're going to find some more stuff to talk about. We're probably going to consider talking about the rest of this, because to me, obviously, we've just scratched the surface. Okay. United Network Earth is a fabulous source. She knows behind the scene. Oh, okay. Kim Gauguin. Is that the girl who used to be on Fox? Is she a person, or is she like a me person? And y'all know. I don't care. Send me it. Send me the stuff, you guys. And I'm going to use it on either channel, depending on where it's supposed to go. Boy, here goes from shit to back again. Hello. How are you? I remember you. Yeah, there you go, Sandy. I love each and every one of you guys. Remember what we always say. Hey, it don't matter what we always say. The fact is, what we're going to say right now today, I want y'all to take care of yourselves, because if you know like I know, ain't nobody else going to take care of you. Let's get this off the screen right now. I want you guys to each take care of yourselves. Make sure that you do that, because everything that we're dealing with right now tells us that that's the only person who's really honestly going to care, and that's you. And the people who love you the most, the ones who do pick and choose and take care of you. You know what I mean? The ones who say, hey, I pick her, I pick him, I'm going to love them, I'm going to take care of them. You got those folks, but then you also know that there's a whole lot of other folks that you got to look out for. And those are the ones that I want you to take care of last. Take care of you, and then you can reach around and choose who you need to take care of next. All right, y'all, I'm out of here. Love each and every one of you guys. You guys remember, take care of yourselves, all right? Here we go. Let's see what we got. How we leaving this joint? How we leaving?
With tomorrow's news today, this is Headlines with a Voice.
Yeah. The car. All right.
Hey everyone, it's me, Felicia, of the Lockhart Perspective and Headlines with a Voice. I want to tell you a little secret. This is what I used to do, because I don't do it anymore. I would go to the store, buy the barbecue sauce, pour it inside of a bowl, put a whole bunch of different spices, a dash of brown sugar, a dash of maple, and a dash of mustard, stir it all around, and everybody would be like, oh my gosh, this is the best. But I was exhausted after all of that, and a lot of times I couldn't remember how many dashes of what I put in it. But I don't have to do that anymore, because now I just go to Judge Joe Brown's website and I order his 3-pack of bottled barbecue sauce. It is by far the best, and I do mean the best barbecue sauce I've ever eaten. And when you go to his website and you order his 3-pack, you'll see exactly what I mean. Head on over to jjbbbbq.com and order Judge Joe Brown's barbecue sauce. You'll be glad you did, and you're going to tell me about it. I know you will. To receive instant notification each time I upload, please hit the subscribe button and the bell notification.
Helping you